From Keene in the Shire at the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, September 7th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.19 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,197 per ounce. Zen is trading at $17, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,441. Antiwar.com reports a day after reiterating his commitment to the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has set out a timeline for the process, saying he intends to get the process done by the end of President Trump's first term in office. Kim committed to a denuclearization earlier this year at a summit with South Korea, and a new inter-Korean summit is coming up in mid-September. The next summit is intended to focus on practical measures to advance the process. North Korea is keen to have a peace treaty ending the Korean War as part of this process. The Korean War began in 1950, and the U.S. has been resisting efforts to negotiate a peace treaty, saying the deal needs to wait until after denuclearization. While this has fueled a lot of suspicion, it's also likely a part of Kim's interest in getting the process done before Trump's term ends, as a number of Trump's critics are opposed to diplomacy with North Korea in general and might not be interested in a peace treaty at all, even after North Korea has given up their nuclear program, with a lot of U.S. critics having more or less treated North Korea diplomacy as a dead process, especially after President Trump forbade Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's last visit. Kim seems to clearly hope between his announcements and the next South Korean summit to get the momentum back. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. UPI reports Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms signed an executive order on Thursday that will prevent U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement from holding detainees in the city's jail. The executive order also required that all detainees currently in the Atlanta City Detention Center be transferred out of the facility. Bottoms told reporters Atlanta will no longer be complicit in a policy that intentionally inflicts misery on a vulnerable population without giving any thought to the horrific fallout. As the birthplace of the civil rights movement, we are called to be better than this. It's not yet clear where the detainees will be moved. ICE has 3 other detention facilities in the state of Georgia. The executive order from Bottoms comes after she signed another one in June that prohibits the jail from accepting new ICE detainees. Her actions on immigration were taken after recommendations from a task force assigned to review the city's immigration policies in response to President Donald Trump. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports an intense wildfire roared unchecked for a second day on Thursday through drought-desiccated timber in Northern California's Shasta Trinity National Forest, threatening scores of homes and forcing the closure of an interstate highway after motorists had to flee their vehicles. The Delta Fire erupted on Wednesday in a canyon along the Sacramento River about 250 miles north of San Francisco, and by Thursday morning had scorched more than 15,000 acres, triple the area that had burned some 12 hours earlier. The blaze was near where the deadly car fire incinerated hundreds of dwellings in and around the towns of Redding over the summer. That fire claimed 8 lives and became one of California's most destructive wildfires on record. No casualties have yet been reported from the Delta Fire, but there were some close calls. On Wednesday, the blaze raced across Interstate 5, forcing motorists to flee on foot before flames engulfed their cars and trucks. Flames posed an immediate threat to roughly 150 homes and other buildings in the sparsely populated region, with about 300 people under mandatory evacuation orders. Farther north, an evacuation warning was in effect for some 1,600 residents to be ready to flee at a moment's notice. The Delta Fire was one of about 15 blazes burning across California this past week. 3 times as much ground has burned in California so far this year than at the same point in 2017, which ranks as one of the most destructive seasons on record. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.